You're driving down a street in western Pennsylvania, and it's during the late hours of the night. And all you see is a constant and never-ending road that is being obscured by the darkness not far ahead. You start to pay no mind to what's ahead of you and start to go numb. Then, at the corner of your eye, you see him. It was only for a split second, but it was unmistakable. You see a person on the side of the road with a greenish hue to his skin, with a face devoid of familiar features and instead left with empty sockets in its place. This would seem to be an only time experience and you'd think you were just seeing things. But as it would turn out, you wouldn't be the only one to see him. This is the story of the Green Man. During the 1960s, locals around the counties of Washington, South Park, and North Hills, Pennsylvania would recall sightings of a faceless man who would stalk the roads late at night. As previously stated, it was said he would emit a glowing green hue for those who got near him. The legend goes that he roams that hollow late at night and chases parkers and the loafers, said Marie Werner, who was local in the area. This legend sparked fascination amongst the community, especially high schoolers who wanted to show their courage to either friends or crushes. Surprisingly, it wouldn't take long for people to uncover the truth about the local legend. The year was 1919 when an 8-year-old boy in Cove, Pennsylvania would be dared to reach for a bird's nest to collect its eggs. Unknowing of the young boy, the bird's nest was resting on top of an electrical pole. When the boy tried to climb up the pole, he would unknowingly reach for an electrical wire, and when he did, 11,000 volts of electricity would rip through the child. Although left in critical condition, the boy survived, although severely disfigured. This boy's name was Raymond Robinson. While Raymond was still able to speak, hear, and vaguely smell, he lost his left arm and eyes in the accident, leaving him forever blind. This meant he didn't leave the house often, but he seemed content with that. He lived in his family home in Cove, Pennsylvania, where he would spend his time creating many facets and items despite his disabilities. He would create and sell belts, wallets, and even doormats as a way of making money. However, when he would leave, it would always be at night. Raymond was always described to be a very polite and understanding person. He knew that his appearance was less than approachable and scary, so he would usually walk alongside the road at night to clear his mind. Being blind, he would often walk with one foot on the side of the road and the other on the dirt to keep him orientated. He walked at night so that there would be no one to be scared of him. The green glow that followed him was caused by car headlights reflecting off of his flannels. He never wanted to upset or scare people. He just wanted to live his life trouble-free and peacefully. He unknowingly would become a legend around his area, and people would become determined to meet him in person. Unfortunately for Raymond, he would face many ups and downs during his encounters with locals. People would wait at locations and drive around in order to look for Raymond, while others would offer him trinkets like cigarettes and beer as a way of befriending the man. He would also unfortunately be subjected to harassment, assault, and even times he'd be offered a ride, only to be dropped off in places he wasn't familiar with. Sick jokes and his health aside, Raymond would continue to walk for an additional 20 years and fortunately live a long and healthy life. He would die of natural causes at the ripe old age of 74 in 1985. While Raymond was no longer there to roam the streets of western Pennsylvania, his legend would persist for over 35 years. The Green Man would be a very popular legend that spread across all areas of rural Pennsylvania and would even bleed into some parts of Ohio. Whether he wanted to be or not, Raymond Robinson would leave his place in history of Pennsylvania folklore and be embedded into the hearts of many. Raymond Robinson is a man who should be remembered not by his appearance, but by his sheer optimism and determination of defying the odds and making the best of his life. He is truly the archetypal example of why you should never judge a book by its cover. This has been Cthulhu's Creek, and thank you for watching.